Well, 'tis the season for monarchs. Chances are you've seen at least one this year, maybe two. But remember the days when there were hundreds of them? As we report tonight, times are changing for these butterflies. Generations of kids have reared monarchs in the classrooms.
An egg, go to a caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly.
This kindergarten class at Apple Creek watched in wonder as two striped
Green and black
caterpillars transformed into two large orange and black adult butterflies.
It was in the cocoon. It turned purple when it was almost ready. We could see the wings.
The monarch is beautiful, showy, and highly recognizable. But the days of seeing the many are numbered.
And over the past 2 decades, we've lost about 90% of the entire population.
The monarch's multi-generational migration is legendary, a journey more than 2,000 miles from Mexico to Canada.
It needs these resources along its entire migration routes.
But landscapes everywhere have changed.
Looking at North Dakota specifically, we used to be about 85% native prairie in the state, and we've gone down to about 24%.
The caterpillars rely on milkweed plants, something we now spray for and often think of as a nuisance. Then, as a butterfly, it needs nectar plants, also disappearing with the prairie.
So down in Mexico, it needs, these pine forests where it overwinters, and a lot of that area is private land, so they've lost a lot of that to deforestation and to logging.
All factors combined have pushed the Fish and Wildlife Service to decide whether monarch butterflies will receive federal protection under the Endangered Species Act, a decision to be made sometime in 2020. Meanwhile, even far and few between, they still mean something.
The first one was a girl, the second one was a boy. They're boys if they have spots on their wings.
And in order to save a tradition of rearing the monarchs in schools everywhere and in between, Mueller says state and federal and nonprofits are working really hard to make sure the butterflies stay put. And there are a number of ways in which the North Dakota Game and Fish Department is working to save the habitat for not just monarchs, but the birds and the bees too. Part of biologist Elisha Mueller's job is to help put back the 72% of prairie lost over the years in North Dakota. And she says biologists work with landowners to see how they might feel about integrating milkweed into their land. They've also started the Urban Pollinator Program, or UP. It began 2 years ago, and here are some pictures from a school in Devil's Lake where hundreds of flowers and grasses are grown for them. Then they are planted onto school grounds. So kids learn about soil health, benefits of milkweed and pollinator crops. Mueller says everyone is working to reach that same goal, and the UP program is a good start. So far, they've worked with about 13 schools across the state. Coming up tomorrow.